how to automate your real estate business. You're a people person, so let me tell you what you can do right now to free up time in your business so that you can focus on the people and revenue generating activities. First, we're going to look at why automation is a must-have. Next, we're going to look at how automation can actually improve customer experience. And then lastly, you're going to leave with a few examples of things that you can start to automate right now. Are you ready to get started? Let's go. So let's start with why it's important to automate anything. We think about automation. Automation is creating processes so that some things can act on their own, so that we're not manually doing everything. We're creating systems and processes. Why are they important for a business owner? Now, if you enjoy doing everything yourself, maybe you're type A, and you don't need any sleep, and you don't mind being stressed out all the time, then certainly don't automate anything. Do everything yourself. But the reason why automation is important is because it's the only way to scale significantly while still maintaining a lifestyle that you want. Now, I don't propose to know what lifestyle you want. We're all different. And so some of us like to work all the time. Some of us like to spend time with family. Some people like to vacation and travel the world. Some folks just want time to sit at home and hang out with their dog, watch Netflix, or play video games. But my point is this: very few people want a lifestyle where they can never disconnect from work. If you're using some form of automation, or if you have systems in place, you can empower not just technology, but other people to help you in your business. If you want to be able to scale, you cannot scale without some degree of automation in today's world. So let's talk about some of the things that you can automate. During COVID-19 in 2020, your industry saw the rise of virtual property tours. Now, they had existed before then. I'm a gamer. I'm someone who loves virtual reality. So I've had Oculus headsets for years. Prior to COVID-19, you could put on a VR headset and walk through homes in Beverly Hills, in New York, in Tokyo, all over the world. That's not new. But what was new is the adoption of this technology by everyday people. And we started to see a lot of people buy homes sight unseen in terms of being there in person. They were doing virtual property tours. This was happening not just in rentals where people were renting properties, but actually buying homes, especially in other states and countries. Now, while people aren't doing it to the exact same degree that they did during COVID, it's still higher than it was before COVID because people have become accustomed to that type of interaction. And so if you're not giving the option for your homes to have virtual tours, and you know that your target market would be open to it, then that's probably one of the things that you want to think about automating. It doesn't mean you don't give in-person tours, but it does mean that you open yourself up to the opportunity of someone being able to see that home beforehand, either coming in for a personal tour or making an offer without actually physically being there. So to have a successful real estate business, there's a lot of moving parts. Not only are you coming up with lists of properties for your clients to look at based on their own preferences, but in addition to that, you're working with other professionals, you're working with mortgage lenders, you're working with inspectors, many other different types of people. And there's an actual process you draw your people through. Now, you can actually just go through the process. Okay, they chose a house. Now we're going to make an offer. You could actually walk through it that way, or you could have a system in place where these different things that you're doing, the contracts that you're generating, the paperwork you're sending over, the emails you're sending to clients, you can set it up so that it's all automated. Using systems like Zapier, Zapier, rhymes with happier, Zapier, you can connect some of the different technical systems that you use. So maybe you even want to create a list for prospecting in the future, people to stay in contact with. So if you list one of your showings on Evite, you can actually set up Zapier so that everybody who shows up to that event and who signed up on Evite, they're automatically added into your CRM system, your customer relationship management system, so that you can follow up with them. So you might be thinking to yourself, that's small, but connecting systems like that, let's say that 20 people show up for an open house, and rather than you or someone on your team manually entering in all that information into another system, having it automatically go over within seconds is definitely a time saver. It not only saves you time, but it saves you money. Because one of the things that you want to do, we talked about how automation helps you scale. you want to figure out, what is your time worth? I'll never forget, years ago, I had this incredible marketing mentor. It was at the very beginning of my business days. And I remember calling him on a Monday, and he was checking in with me. We were checking in with each other. And he wanted to see what I had been up to. And my husband had horrible allergies. Something in the house was bothering him. I knew it. And so I'd spent the entire weekend cleaning my home. And so when he called me and he said, "My mentor, what have you been up to?" I said, "Oh, I've been cleaning the house all weekend so that my husband, CJ, could breathe." And y'all, I was basically fishing for a compliment. I was waiting for him to say, "Oh, what an amazing wife you were." Y'all, he ripped me a new one. He went off. And he's never talked to me loud before. He went off. And he said, "How dare you? How much do you charge an hour?" And I told him my consulting rate. He said, "Then why are you paying that for cleaning?" And I was like, oh. So when you think about you as a real estate professional, how much is an hour of your time worth? When you think about what you can be doing in that hour and how many hours it takes to close the average sale, go ahead and work backwards from that, your commission, and figure out how much your time is worth per hour. Automation can ensure that you're not overpaying for services, because if you're doing it yourself, it's probably not worth that amount of money. And some of your team members, you pay more than what that task is worth as well. So automation is a great way to save money. So I have a few more juicy things that you can automate coming up, but if you haven't already, take a moment and share this video with some of your real estate peers and even people outside of real estate that really need to understand the importance of automation in their businesses. Some of the other things that you can automate is social media engagement. There's many different third-party tools. I don't even want to recommend one specifically because there's so many great ones. You can actually create all of your posts weeks ahead of time, set them up on timers, and they go out. In fact, you can even use tools like ChatGPT to help you craft different versions of that same post for different social networks, then take that language, then take the images that it created for you, plug those into the other system, and have them automatically come out. Now, 2 warnings. Number 1, most social media sites give you less engagement if you use a third party. So that doesn't mean you shouldn't use a third party. It just means that you should be aware that if the only way that you can remain engaged is to automate, that's okay. You're just going to get a few less views, but that's better than you trying to do it yourself on the fly every day and forgetting. That's okay. The second thing I wanted to mention to you is that if you're going to use something like ChatGPT to help you generate posts and pictures, ensure that you're fact-checking ChatGPT, because it does do something called hallucination. Any generative AI does this, and what that means is that because generative AI works on pattern recognition, not necessarily fact-checking what it's telling you, it can put something out that sounds good but is inaccurate. So if it gives some type of little short story or anything like that that's fact-based, make sure you fact-check it first. Speaking of automation, you can automate some of your marketing campaigns. So you can create pipelines for your prospects and your existing clients. And in fact, as a real estate professional, I would actually suggest that you create pipelines for your existing clients, because they're not interested in the same information that someone is who's looking for a home. They already leveraged you to buy or sell their home. They're set where they want to be. Let's say that you have a funnel for people who just bought a home leveraging your services. You can then put them in a funnel that's automated where every few weeks they get an email about things that they should be doing to keep up the house at this point. On certain dates, they're getting messages about things that they should be doing based on the season. So these are all things that can be automated. You don't have to send them out in the moment. One of the things that you're probably already using for automation, but if you're not, I hope you are in the near future, is digital document management. That's when you're having all of these, it feels like hundreds. I know it's not hundreds, but I bought a few houses. It feels like hundreds of documents that are generated, and it's easy for your clients to sign remotely. So that's one of the things I appreciate about real estate transactions, when I'm not having to print out a bunch of things and sign them all in person. Now, some things you might have to do that with, but a lot of the paperwork that you're doing doesn't require the actual signature in person of your clients. So I've given you a lot of things that you can automate in your real estate business. Believe it or not, there's many more, but we only have so much time, and I don't want to overwhelm you. But if you're looking at things that you can automate in your business, it's because you're likely trying to scale and grow your business and you're thinking about the future. Go ahead and look in the description of this video, and you're going to find a link to download the Future Ready Playbook. This playbook is chock full of ideas and worksheets that'll walk you through planning for the future, whether we're talking about your real estate business or your personal life. Take a moment, download it right now.